In the world of One Piece, power takes many forms, some born in childhood, others forged in battle. A mysterious admiral with a dangerous calm, a sea empress feared across the Grand Line, and a legendary hero of the Marines, unshakable and unbreakable. These are the voices behind Giants, the world of One Piece, brought to life. Welcome to the stage, Macy Anne Johnson, Matthew David Rudd, Pamela Dougherty, and Brian Mathis.
How's everyone doing this afternoon? Give these guys a round of applause.
You have to stand.
I know.
I'll sit.
I know. Our
what an intro, man. That was so cool.
Our production crew, Share Productions, has done an amazing job doing all. Give these guys a round of applause. These are the unsung heroes of this Comic-Con, the panelists. So, apologies, we are breaking some camera angles here just with our seats.
Well, you know what's great is you can cross your legs now.
I can cross my legs
not
now.
Facing the camera.
We got the note ahead of time. We're just, hey, don't cross your legs. I'm like, I wore pants, what's going on? And it turns out my foot was getting in the camera shot. All right, we're losing them again, so let's
Just
get
a little
right
behind the curtain.
Yeah, a little behind the scenes. So here we are, the cast of One Piece. It's great to have you guys here. You know, One Piece, such a legendary, long-running series. I want to kind of go down the way, and Pam, we'll start with you. You know, how did you get involved in the world of voice acting for One Piece in particular? How did that come about? And how do you feel now that you're a part of this, again, just legendary series?
So I've been an actress since I was 15. I think I was a sophomore in high school when I first...
So last year?
Last
year.
Just last year. And most, you'll find that so many voice actors have trained early on in theater. We've gotten our classical stage training. A lot of actors now are like that. And so when you get out of college, then you get an agent and you try out for films and radio and television and all those different things. And then I guess it was sometime, this really dates me, in the late 70s when my agent sent me on my first, not an audition, but a booking for voiceover. And that was sort of the beginning. And so that's been a really, really long time ago. I first started doing anime in the late 90s. And didn't really start coming to cons until just a couple of years ago. I've done leads and supporting act roles and all sorts of roles in anime and games and animation. And it wasn't until I got a Funko Pop that suddenly I'm getting to come see you guys. So that's kind of how I got started.
So how does it feel now to, but how does it feel now specifically to be a part of One Piece and be part of its legacy here?
It's great fun. I would never have suspected this.
Yeah?
This kind of attention and money and, you know, it's great. It's great seeing kids and grown-ups and families really appreciating One Piece and the writing and the art and all of that. It feels great.
Wonderful. Now Macy, you're part of the cast as well. You've got kind of a interesting challenge in that you have to play a younger version of Pam's character.
Yeah.
So you're involved in this. Like, was there any kind of coordination between the two of you to you know?
We never met until yesterday.
You guys have never met until yesterday.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, how did you pick this up, and how difficult was that to play that younger version of Pam's character?
So I had not seen very much of One Piece. I had seen, you know, a few episodes here and there when I got cast as the role, but my brother is a huge One Piece fan, and he had seen all of it. So he was like, I knew who to go to for advice. So I was like, I'm playing like a young version of Big Mom, and he was like, oh, that's so cool. And my brother never thinks I'm cool, or like anything I do is cool.
His brothers do sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
I was just like, yes. So I had him as my helper, giving me, like, this is Big. She's awesome. We love Big Mom. And I just feel really lucky because I didn't have to do all that much acting, and I could kind of get a ride off of Pam's amazingness.
Can I jump in with a question?
Yeah.
Was there something specific that Pam did that you mimicked in your performance?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the director played me. It was Anthony Bowling at the time played me samples of Pam's work and stuff, and it was just really like the loud grittiness that you bring to that character is so cool. So I tried to be like, how would baby this go? Oh, loud. Yeah.
Man, that's really cool. Matthew, what about you? Your involvement in the series and how you feel now, considering it's such a success.
Yeah, so I play Admiral, all the admirals have like 3 names, but I play Admiral Ryokugyu, also known as Aramaki, also known as Green Bull. And he doesn't show up in One Piece until like episode, I want to say 897 or something like that, right?
Good time to start.
So, which is still only like halfway through the series somehow. But my point being, like, it was later on in my acting career when it was Anthony Bowling also who, when you're at the Crunchyroll offices, there's this waiting room and everyone gets to kind of hang out together. You can be eating lunch together or you can be just waiting in the green room. And he just walked into the green room and he's like, hey, Matt, I've been wanting to work with you for a while. I have a couple of characters I was thinking of, and a couple of them are beast men, and they'll be here and they'll be gone in a couple of episodes. They're cool. And he goes, but I've got one guy that's about to be teased, and then in like 200 episodes he'll come back, and he's a pretty cool character. And I was like, give me that one. That'll be super fun. And so we did the teaser for it, and then I waited it was like a year and a half, and then we got to play him again. But he was super cool, and working with Anthony was really cool also because he really had a specific vision for this character. He's not like the other admirals. We talked about, he had me do a little bit of research, and I came at him with kind of a Jack Nicholson kind of vibe, and it's fun because he was telling me, Christoph Waltz, I want him to be the crazy person in the room, but he's subtly crazy, and you don't know if he's going to flip the table or if he's just going to play it cool. And so anyway, there was a lot of pre-talk because we had like 200 episodes to get ready for this character. And anyway, did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You did. Listen, there's going to be a lot of jumping around, so buckle up, everyone. This is going to be fun. Brian, Garp, man, so how did that come about? I'm crossing my legs.
Be comfortable, man. It's your interview. How did Garp come about? Another one of those crazy situations, like Matt was saying. I got booked for a session, and I didn't know anything about it. And they said it's for this show called One Piece, and I walked into the studio, and I see the picture of Garp and this, and I go, okay, guys, tell me what's going on here. And they go, well, we're introducing this new character, and he is Luffy's grandpa. And I'm like, so who? Okay, right? And he's like this old crusty guy, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, cool.
So we thought of you.
So we thought of you. And I said, okay. And he said, but here's the thing. This very first episode, the introduction is kind of odd. He's standing up, he's asleep, and he's got this dog hat on, and he's eating these donuts. And I'm going, man, anime is weird. God, it's weird. It's because, if you remember his very first scene, he says, you have to forgive me. I've been awake for 3 days and eating these donuts and whatever. So I made this choice about the voice. And I didn't know he was going to be a recurring character. I just made a choice. Actually, yeah. Keep laughing. I was too. I was like, what the heck did I do? So I had made this choice, and I had finished the session. I went, man, that was crazy. I need to be more aware of what I'm doing vocally. And a couple weeks later, they were like, okay, so you're going to record some more Garp. Well, that turned into many episodes. So I had to find a safer way to approach that voice because the very first time I did it, I had really kind of bared down on what I was doing, and that was kind of irresponsible.
So how do you do that without destroying your vocal cords?
Wow, I wish that I could tell you exactly what all of the pedagogy
Scientific
and
stuff,
science and physiology and everything that's going on. I need a real vocal expert to tell me. I think, first of all, I'm really thinking about how I am supporting that sound and where I'm kind of placing it. I'm trying to place it more into my head and not in here, because that's where all the damage can occur. So when you hear that gravelly thing, I was thinking of him as, he's been awake for so long. He probably smokes more than he should and drinks more than he should. Probably eats all the wrong things. So it's a little sleepy and that sort of thing, allowing a little bit of that to happen.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Can I tell you, last night before I went to bed, I called my son to say goodnight, and I told him I had dinner with Garp, and he goes, "No way."
No way.
Really?
Yeah. And he had ramen, and it was delicious.
I love that. Despite the wacky humor of the show, One Piece can get very emotional. Have any of you recorded a scene that really moved you or was unexpectedly challenging emotionally, as far as the backstory of any one of your characters? How did you approach that, and maybe why was that so memorable for you? We're going over a long period of episodes here, but anything in particular that stands out with some of these emotional scenes and maybe how you prepared for it, and your takeaway from it, because it's part of the craft bringing that character to life. So personal experiences we're drawing on that.
You're gonna go first.
It doesn't have to be you, Pam. It's okay. If you need more time, we'll bounce around here. Yeah.
I'll ad
Jump
lib
in.
so everyone
Okay.
can think.
And
And also my character's probably been in it the least at this point. But my guy's just truly a bad guy. He's very cool, sunglasses, smokes a cigarette, doesn't wear a shirt for some reason, and he's legitimately kind of nuts, in a way that, again, he's that kind of understated crazy. But then when you understand what's going on in his head, he's legitimately nuts. And so part of I don't have any emotional baggage or that tearjerker kind of stuff. But something I did have to wrap my head around is his disdain for other people. He thinks very highly of himself. He thinks very highly of the Marines, and he really thinks very low of everyone else. And so doing that in a believable way was really interesting for him, because I had to believe what I said, right? Like I had to, or I had to at least have the audience understand that my character believes what he says. He's not like a Darth Vader where, like, in his history there was understanding and he's trying to do good for the galaxy and stuff like that. No, he's just kind of, I mean, the way the director, at this point it was Emily Fajardo who was directing, but the way she was bringing it up is like, he's kind of just a racist. He doesn't like the people of Wano. He thinks very highly of himself and of the Marines, and he's just in this backwater country, and he just really thinks of them as animals, right? And so some of that kind of stuff was interesting to wrestle with as an actor.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did that help? Did I buy you time, Pam?
Well, Pam, I have a question for you. This may be geared, more so toward Big Mom. Big Mom's hilarious. One moment, terrifying the next. How did you draw inspiration for that voice? Was it a combination of looking at the character, maybe listening to some of the original dialogue? Like, how were you able to craft the voice and make it stick for you?
Excuse me. I don't think I spent a whole lot of time analyzing. I think she just sort of came out of me and continues to do that. Frankly, a lot of I'm not one of those people who tries to figure out what my character had for breakfast that day. It's just not something I do. It just whatever I'm doing.
It was
honestly,
cake, though. In
it
Big
was
Mom's.
cake
It
in
was
her
cake.
case. Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of craft to it. It was just, it was instinct. It was more instinct than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking too much. Sorry.
No, it's
You know
okay.
what's interesting is I always, when I started working on One Piece, I thought of this a lot. Mark Hamill, when he's talking about playing the Joker, always talks about seeing his teeth and crafting his voice around the teeth. One Piece, the mouth animations are so crazy that a lot of times the acting choice has to come from how big your character's
I totally
mouth
agree with
is and
that.
all that.
Yeah.
And one of the things we do also in the process of recording, first of all, we record by ourselves. We don't ever have scenes together that we record in the same studio. We're always by ourselves.
Yeah.
The first thing that happens is that we watch the Japanese, watch what happens and how it's voiced, and et cetera, and then do our interpretation of what that sounds like to us. So I think, I don't know, for me anyway, watching that and not trying to mimic it or impersonate it, but just understand where that voice is coming from emotionally.
Yeah. Are you watching that with like subtitles and like taking notes and everything, or is it something just as simple as just
We don't have
you and
time to
taking
take
it
notes.
easy? Okay.
It's a very, very fast
Sure.
process.
Yeah, we don't get a script ahead of time. We know nothing
Yeah.
until we walk in, and that's because of the incredible, what's the word I'm looking for? Secrecy of the scripts before they go out.
That makes sense. And I think, the point you had touched on, you guys are recording by yourselves. I think that's a common misconception from, years and years past. Oh, hey, we're all in a booth together and doing voiceovers that way. That's not the case. So like you said, you're just meeting Macy here for the first time,
Yeah.
which is incredible. What do you think of her? Have you heard any of her dialogue from from her episode? Yeah.
No.
None?
I'll show you. I'll show you later.
Tell me which episode, and I'll listen to
there you
it.
Oh, good. Well, she's a delight. We're glad to, of course, have you all here. Here's something a little fun. If you could voice a character not of your own, like not one that you guys do, what would it be?
In One Piece?
In One Piece, yeah. If you had to do a character swap.
Sabbath's always been one of my favorite voice
Yeah?
actors, so I would totally be Zoro if I could.
Well, there goes that.
Boy, man. Have you tried to mimic the voice?
Not specifically for Zoro, but some interesting kind of subtle compliments I've gotten over the years are I've played in a lot of shows with Sabbath now, and I've been asked by a few directors to change my performance a little bit because it was too close to his.
Oh, wow.
And I think of that as a compliment. Sure, why not?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's interesting. I think I inhabit the same kind of range as him, just vocal quality, that
Sure.
kind of thing. Yeah. Well,
Sure. Brian, what about you?
Gosh, I really don't know. I haven't.
Big Mom, maybe?
But how about Big Mom?
Yeah, Big Mom,
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's take a risk. Let's really take a risk. Let's yeah.
Doflamingo, you could be like.
Right. Maybe Luffy.
Maybe Luffy?
Yeah. Maybe Luffy. Why not?
I hear Gum Gum Pistol Punch or whatever in Luffy's voice.
And you,
Nailed it.
Gum, pistol punch. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do Luffy's voice. I can do a lot of crazy high pitched voices.
No, you're hired. You're hired.
You're hired for the bus and truck tour of One Piece.
You learned your lesson and picked a voice that you could do really good, and now you're hired.
That's right.
Macy, what about you?
I don't know, probably Chopper, just because cute little
Yeah.
guy. No complex reasoning there, just cute.
You'd be a great chopper.
Yeah. Pam, what about you?
I would love to do almost any voice that is more of a character voice, not like Big Mom, but
Sure.
who's the guy that talks like this? Is that Brooke? Yeah, something like that. I never get those voices, and I want to. I would love to do. I'd love to do a child voice, but they look at my hair and go, she's old.
They should cast you anyway.
Of course. Well, thank you, but
You have range.
yeah.
Says the guy that looks exactly like Garp.
That was a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. That was what I didn't say at the very beginning of my first session. When I walked in and I saw it, and I went, "Wait a minute, this almost looks like me." What? Because I had a goatee then too, and they were like, "Yeah, it was just kind of a coincidence, whatever." I'm like, "No, you guys, I think there was some sort of subliminal thing going on here."
Typecasting going on. Yeah.
Right. So
Just maybe. I want to make sure to leave enough time to take some audience questions, as we like to do here in these panels. So we're going to open it up to you. My friend Lauren's going to be walking around. She's the lovely lady in the orange bandana, yielding the orange microphone, conveniently enough, because it's one of the colors here of Soda City Comic-Con. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Lauren's going to come around and bring the microphone to you. We ask that you stand up, say your name, where you're from. Please speak loud and clear into the mic. It will help us up here on stage hear your question and be able to hopefully answer it better. So, hello.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I go to USC here. This is my older sister, Audrey.
Hi.
I've been watching One Piece for a while. I actually have caught up. I got her started recently. I'm forcing her to be here today. Episode 89, I think I'm on. Doing great.
Nice. So in 17 years, you'll be all caught up.
Yeah, there you go.
But I wanted to ask Garp's voice actor a question about the scene with Ace in Marineford. How did you voice that? And was that difficult, or did it just come out well?
Thank you. Good question. That kind of goes back to what you were asking earlier about the emotional thing. It also kind of also piggybacks off what Pam said. We don't get, like she said, we don't get to prepare for any of our sessions. We don't get to see the script. We don't get to think about any kind of motivational actor, heebie-jeebie stuff. And so whenever we came in and recorded that moment, it was all factual. This is what's happening in the scene. This is what's happening with Ace and Garp. These are the stakes of what's happening. Make a choice, go. Which is actually very helpful because you have no choice but to go all the way with it, right? If we were doing a film, it would be this very similar to that. And so when we recorded those moments, there was I think we only did maybe two takes of it, and I can't actually remember who was directing the show at that time, if it was Anthony or Emily at that time. I'm not quite sure, but it actually gave me a lot of freedom to go into that moment and take Garp to a place that the fans really hadn't seen before. So it made him a whole lot more human and more open. Yeah.
What's kind of cool is they play us a little preview of what we do before we do it, and so we almost get to have the reaction that the fans would have, right? And then we get to play those parts in that moment of having that reaction. So I'm sure when you saw that, you had a reaction, and then you got to play off of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also we get the video preview, and then we also get an audio preview of what's happened in the one or two speeches before our speech. It's just audio, but we hear it and can react emotionally to what that is.
I hope that answers your question. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? We got one, I think.
Bunch.
Oh, I know.
Oh, Fitbit Minutes.
You'd have fun
She's
with
getting
that,
to
too. I know Lauren would.
The newest One Piece fan in the audience right back
Yes.
there, yes.
There we go.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yep. Congratulations, you've got a lifetime of watching episodes coming ahead
Like
of
the
you.
opposite of an AA meeting right now.
Hi, I'm Joshua. Hi, Joshua. No, I actually watched the first episode in line at Comic-Con, and I was laughing, so we're starting, so that's fun. So she actually had the question, but she's too scared to stand up. So One Piece is kind of like a fun, funny show, right? Would you prefer to work in a fun, more lighthearted show, or would you like a darker, more serious show?
So we'll kind of go down the line here and just, I guess it's personal
I like being cast in the one that runs the longest, like One Piece.
Valid answer. Valid answer.
I like both.
Yeah?
I mean, Full Metal Alchemist, I loved doing Madam Christmas. And she's kind of similar to Big Mom, but very dark. I remember her last line was, and the next time I see you, you better not be in a body bag, which is kind of dark. And you know, I've been all over the place, both comedy and drama. Put the head back on his shoulders.
Macy, what about you?
Yeah, I think some of my favorite shows have a good blend of both. It's really fun when you get to be a character and these super zany, their mouth is giant, and you know, they're doing the little like chibi faces. But then you have to play them when something sad happens or they're struggling with these things all people struggle with. So it's really cool to do anime because you get those really big shifts kind of every episode. So it's fun to play those and play that range.
Yeah, and actually, One Piece is my favorite kind of show, and I can hear your newness because it's zany now, right? But the payoff of those really emotional moments is so much more impactful because it goes from comedy to really, really heartfelt, like heart-wrenching sadness, like in an instant. One of my favorite shows of all time was the original Trigun, and it was the same sort of formula, right? Where you start off in this wacky world with this really goofy character, and then it gets to be like the most intense drama you've ever seen. One Piece goes up and down that way the whole 7,000 episodes.
Let's look for our next question. Here comes Lauren. Hello.
Hi, Steve. I'm from Lexington, South Carolina. And as you said, you've been lucky and blessed to be on this long-running show. Are there any characters from other shows that either unfortunately got canceled or ended that you really miss, that you wish that you could go back and revisit?
Okay. We're going deep into the archives beyond One Piece.
The one that got away.
The one that got away.
That got away. I could probably think of several, but sometimes we do these shows that we get one season and you have a really nice role in it, and they don't make another season for whatever reason, and that's unfortunate because you sometimes go, I really had a good time playing this character, and it was great, and I loved the animation, and everything was great about it. And I'm sorry that it didn't go any further, and I had actually felt that way about Ancient Magus Bride when we did the first season, and we didn't get season 2 for 5 years. So it was nice that it came back, but that does happen. I think all of us probably have had several shows that we've worked on that we'd love to come back into our lives.
There's also movies that we've done, or in my case, it's Speedgrapher, which was not a movie, it was a series, but it was done way, way back in the early 2000s. And I miss those kinds of shows that they were just done, and maybe they may have been a hit that year, but they didn't have this kind of staying power that One Piece has.
Yeah, I was in a show a few years back called Akudama Drive, and it's by the guy who did Danganronpa, and it's a fabulous show. It's 12 episodes, and it doesn't need any more. I think it's a perfect story in those 12 episodes, but I feel nostalgic for it all the time. This just very short in comparison to something like One Piece anime, but the impact it had on me as an actor, as a consumer of anime, is just so immense. So that's also a recommendation for you, Akudama Drive.
I had a similar situation to Brian where Tower of God was one of the first shows that I was cast as like a lead character in. I love playing Rock Wraithrazer. People have been asking me all weekend who my favorite character to play is, and he's definitely top 3 of my favorite characters. And it happened right before COVID, and then 5 years went by, right, where I was like, I went through this mourning process of like, oh, my favorite character. And it was a similar situation with Garp too, where I tried a voice that was tough for me to do, and over those 5 years, I've gotten so much better at it, and I wish I could show the audience how much more range I can provide this character and stuff like that. So I went through this whole mourning process of wishing the show, saying goodbye to it or whatever. And then just this year, we had season 2. So it was 5.5 years later. So that was really cool, but an experience like you're talking about,
Yeah, great question. All right, Lauren is going to pick our next question. Hello.
Hi, I'm Matthew from South Carolina. Also, I met Macy yesterday. Good to see you again.
Hi.
And one question I had was, if all of you could go back and to your first ever voice recording session, like what advice would you give your younger selves now?
Ooh, going back to day one in the booth.
Okay, when my first voiceover session, I got there, and they're like, I was 17, and I couldn't sign the paperwork for being employed. So I had to call my dad, and it was so embarrassing. And I would have told her to bring her dad with her just right off the bat, or pretend to be someone else, so my dad didn't have to come and save the day. It's terrible, so embarrassing. I was trying so hard to be a cool adult actor. Yeah.
That's partially what I was going to say, not about the dad thing, but like, it's okay to feel nervous and to ask questions and to advocate for yourself. And I teach lessons all the time now, and that's what I tell my new students is like, because I remember so many little sessions or whatever where I would do something that I wasn't really proud of, and then I just wouldn't say anything because we were moving on and that kind of thing, and I was nervous. But now that I don't have those nerves anymore, we get such better work because I can say, wait, I have a better take in me, or can you clarify this direction for me? That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. Being your own advocate in the booth is huge. My very first Funimation Crunchyroll session was for a show called Hell Girl, and that was in 2007. And it's kind of a blur actually, because it was such an unusual process to me because I had never done anime. I had done other voiceover before, but I had never done the anime thing. So I guess that I would have just enjoyed the moment a little bit more. Just as a contrast, several years later, I did a session at Sentai Filmworks in Houston. And their recording process is completely different than how we record at Crunchyroll. They have their own style. And it's kind of like if you fly aircraft, it's a difference between flying helicopters and flying airplanes. You're still flying, but there's two different ways to do it, So that's the way this recording process was. So my first session with that, I felt like I was running into the wind the whole time because all of this information is coming at me, and so the recording process was crazy. But there's that story.
Do you now prefer that process, though?
Actually, no. I don't. I know some do. We talked about that. I think last night we were talking about that. And I get the immediacy and the speed of it. I guess in the Crunchyroll style, it gives you a little. For me, it just gives me a little more time to think about what I'm doing, and read a little bit better. But yeah, it's definitely.
So the difference is Crunchyroll records basically line by line. You do a separate recording for each line, and then the way Sentai does it is you record like a whole scene. As you're seeing it for the first time, kind of, it feels a lot more like acting on camera, where you're, to your question, you're reacting to what you're seeing in real time. And I have fun with that. I like that.
Yeah, you are here, and you're hearing the Japanese in one ear, and you're hearing what you're doing in the other ear. So that in itself is a little if you have those kind of focus issues.
That sounds hard to me.
It's definitely a learning curve, Pam.
Yeah.
It's definitely a learning curve.
It's a learning curve, but to me at least, it feels more like I'm actually acting with another person.
Yeah,
I'm reacting to, because they still zhuzh it around. The engineers still move your audio because you're a little delayed from everything.
Yeah.
But it gives you a chance to in the moment react to something, and I don't know. I like it.
For me, early on, the biggest thing, and I was originally cast by Mike McFarland. So he and I think Chris Bevins directed me in some of the early episodes. And they had to teach me how to make noises. Because one of the things that happens in anime is ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I mean, boys can make noises that girls can't make. And I don't know how to explain that, except
Look up TikTok videos of people asking girls to make machine gun sounds.
There you go. Stuff like that. Yeah.
It's funny.
But that was a real learning curve, is learning to make those noises. It wasn't just acting and saying words, it was making noises, closed mouth noises, open mouth noises. So that was a difficult thing for me to learn. And now that I can do those, things just go really, really fast. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, another thing is, in Japan, when they record, they do all of the actors in one great big studio. And they don't pay any attention to the flaps. Right. But we're required to be absolutely specific to what the flaps do. Do you know what the flaps are? We're in America required to make those absolutely perfect. To the extent
Really
that they have
hard
to
in
change
one-
the script sometimes.
Which is really hard in One Piece because their mouths are.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, I can only imagine. All right, next question coming in and around. Trying to bounce around in different sections of the room to get a good sample. Yes.
Hello, my name is Tripp Stevens. I'm right now on the Thrill Bark arc right now. I was wondering, how does it feel knowing that you have fans all around the world excited to hear y'all on One Piece every episode?
How does it feel to know that my son is at home jealous that I'm hanging out with you?
I feel a huge responsibility. Now I feel like I have to give you gifts to take home to your son.
You do, yes.
Yes. So we will be taking care of that.
Yes.
I think it's great. If the show is popular, and it's great that it's popular enough that we are all invited here to be here with you and talk about the show, which is not something I ever thought about 20 years ago, that this was even a thing, because I was not really an anime watcher or anything like that. When I'm a lot older than some of you. And my only experience with anime was a fun show called Speed Racer. And the flaps and the overdub was so bad, we didn't care. We didn't care that it was awful. We just thought it was exciting, and it was this kid driving a race car that his dad built, and every time the flaps would move, they would keep talking, or they would stop talking and the flaps would keep moving, but we didn't care. We were like, this is awesome, because this must be art because it's Japanese, right. So this is really cool, So we dug it. And they also had an awesome theme song. Here he comes Speed Racer. Yeah. But sometimes we get cool theme songs too. I hope that answers your question. So.
we get to the end, we're like, I don't know if I answered.
I did not answer a single one of those questions.
I think Macy and I are of the generation after that, right, where we did grow up with there was a lot of anime in my life as a kid, and so to answer your question, I am really digging that I am providing that experience that I wish I had when I was a kid, right? Or that I would have loved to meet my Sabat when I was a kid, or Sean Schimmel when I was a kid, right? I would have loved to do all that, and it is so cool and humbling, to come from that fandom to now be able to help produce the stuff and to meet fans every day. It's really cool.
Yeah, totally agree. I found anime in middle school, and I was just obsessed with it. And J. Michael Tatum was my favorite actor. So, to get to be in projects with that, like you said, being a fan and then going behind the scenes is very humbling. It's a cool experience.
You have to play it cool a lot, right? Like now I'm fighting Chris Sabat in a show. Oh, yeah, I belong here. I promise.
Pam, what about you? How does it feel just to be a part of this world
people. It's great. I mean, I'm probably older than anybody else in this room, and I don't. I didn't know what anime was until the first time I walked into a studio and did an audition. So to go from there, not knowing what anime was. I mean, I grew up on the Three Stooges. And
there's a lot of Three Stooges in One Piece.
Yeah, there are some Stooges in One Piece, and so coming from not knowing anything about it, and still not knowing a tremendous amount about One Piece or other anime as well, it feels just kind of amazing. You know, it's amazing. It's really, really different. I think sometimes about how when my grandkids come to their first con, because they haven't been to anything like this before, what is going to be their impression? You know, the first time they know Gaga does, that's my grandma name is Gaga. They know she is this weird character. And the first time they looked at one of my prints, they were like, she's scary. Gaga is scary. So it's all over the place for me.
Well, we started a few minutes late, so I want to squeeze in one more question here before.
Hi, I'm Rachel. We just moved here from California.
What part of California?
We moved from Thousand Oaks, California.
Okay, yeah.
Right outside of LA. But I'm here with my kid, Dean, who is the One Piece fan, dressed as Sabo today.
Yeah.
Do you want to
I like the costume. It looks good.
Okay. Dean wanted to know if you could choose a devil fruit to eat, which one would you choose and why?
My son asks me this question all the time.
Oh, a devil fruit.
What devil fruit would you
What devil fruit?
Well, cake, of course. Wedding cake,
fruit.
specifically.
I mean, I legitimately, so my admiral has eaten the woods fruit, right? And which means he can grow like vines that can be sharp and attack people, and he can also suck the nutrients out of things like roots. And I legitimately think that's a really cool power to have. And he can turn into the forest. He's like the incarnate, like how Luffy's the incarnation of the sun god. My guy is the incarnation of the forest spirit, right? And I think that's really cool. I like that. When he walks, flowers grow behind him. It's really cool.
Yeah. Big Mom has the soul fruit, I believe, which is so epic. Like, what a cool power to just animate things and have a million friends.
That is cool.
And I was like, I'd have all sorts of cool little buddies if I had that power. Think of all my things I could animate. I don't know.
I love that.
I don't think Garp doesn't have any devil fruit. I don't think.
No, Garp's got the goatee fruit.
He's got the goatee fruit. I don't even. I think he would pass all that. He was like, "Where's the donuts?" Or the rice crackers. Yeah. Or if someone would have to force feed him a devil fruit, I think.
Can I turn it around? Can I ask
Do it,
you?
do it.
What fruit would you go for? Flame fruit.
Flame fruit.
Cool.
That's what a perfect way to wrap this up, guys. Thanks so much for taking the time to come and chat with us. The cast of One Piece, everybody. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. Remember, they will be still at their booths signing autographs, everything you want. Come say hi to them. They're really great people, I got to tell you. Coming up here at 1:30, the voice of Minnie Mouse will be on stage with me here, Caitlin Robrock. Hope you'll come back. And then at 2:30.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's me. It's just going to be me.
Yeah,
it's going to be me.
It's going to be Matt, and it's going to be that voice. And then at 2:30, we've got the rising stars of NXT. So we hope to see you back in here for those panels. Thank you.